Hello, finance students. I want to talk about the time value of money. Let's see what we mean by time value of money. Here is a website, calculator.net. Some of the students have seen this site from the previous semester when they took personal finance. And if you look at here, financial calculators, and one of them, all of these are about finance, but this one in particular is something we talk about the assignments for this week. Finance calculator. And if you look at here, it's written FV means future value, PMT means payment. Let's start with future value. The meaning of it is, let's say if I give you $1, a year from now, I will ask you to give me $1.10 back. Means I am charging you 10% interest. Therefore, the future value of $1 today is equivalent to $1.10 of a year from now. That is something we are going to talk about this in here. Do you all remember that the company of Dow Jones that I have is Amazon? Imagine that Amazon wants to borrow $20,000 from me. Companies regularly borrow money, and mainly in the form of bonds. When the federal government borrows in the form of bonds, companies borrow in the form of bonds, and therefore imagine Amazon needs $20,000 and it's going to pay me my money back in 10 years. I am going to charge Amazon 6%. Therefore, and Amazon is going to pay me $2,000 every year. If you multiply this 2,000 by 10, it will be 20,000. That means that every year it pays me 2,000 until this $20,000 is paid off. And I have to charge Amazon interest for my money. And how much the interest is? 6%. If I calculate that interest and then after 10 years, this is what interest Amazon is supposed to give me. Therefore, the way we look at it is that I click here, calculate, and let's see what it means. What it does is that Amazon at PV means present value. Presently, Amazon is borrowing $20,000 from me during year one. When it pays me $2,000, out of the $2,000, $1,200 of it goes for the interest, and Amazon owes me $19,200. That's the first year. The second year, because it owes me this much, it pays me another $2,000. And this is what goes for the interest, and this is what Amazon owes me. After 10 years, Amazon owes me $10,000. When it pays $2,648 of it goes for the principal, and Amazon still owes me $9,455, and that is known as future value. Therefore, as you all see, here we have N means number of periods, is 10 years. I means interest, which is 6%, and it is annually. Let's say if it was 12% annually, I asked you, what is monthly? You would have divided 12 by 12 months. It would have been 1% every month. But in this particular case, 6% is annually. Amazon is borrowing $20,000 and is paying me $2,000 every year. And I want you to see one thing is that this $2,000 is in negative. Do you see? It's negative. This one is positive. Negative, think about negative, is that when the money is coming back to me, it is in the form of negative. When it is going out of my pocket, it is in the form of positive. Do you see? When I give this $20,000, it is positive. When it is think about this 2,000 reduces, that $20,000. And at the end also, you see, this is what is remained. It has to be paid back to me. Means it is the opposite direction of this 20,000. This 20,000 has to go out. This 2,000 have to come in, and this 9,000, this amount has to come back to me, and that's why you see this as a negative number in here, and you see this 2,000 as a negative. This is called future value for this amount. We do have another one, which is PMT, means payment. You are familiar with this payment. Why do I say that? You go to the dealer and you say you want to borrow a car, to buy a car. You need to borrow $20,000, and you want to finance it for 10 years, and the dealer tells you the percentage is 6%. Therefore, the dealer tells you, let me do the calculate, and what happens is that you have a payment to pay to the dealer. How much your payment would it be? It will be, if you pay $1,958 every year, what happens is that at the very end, you will owe $10,000, still owe $10,000. Let's look at how it would come up with. This would be, you are asking the dealer to give you $20,000, and the dealer is going to, tell you, if the dealer tells you you pay $1,958, at the very end, you will still owe, after 10 years, you owe $10,000. If you don't want to owe any money after 10 years, you put 0 in here. That means you want to pay off in 10 years. We can do the calculation and see how it goes. Calculate. Then in that case, the dealer would tell you that you have to pay $2,700. Do you see? If you pay $2,700, at the end of 10 years is 0. You don't owe any money. Therefore, you understand the concept of interest payment in here, the payment. Another thing is that interest, I means interest. I click here and I click calculate, and let's see what it is and what we mean. Let me go back and then let's make sure that I have, okay. The meaning of it, error. Do you see? It gave me an error. Let me go back and let me go back again. And here it is. Let me go back one more time. And I go to the interest payment. Let's see what it means. Is that I go to the dealer and, I buy a car and tell the dealer that I pay you, I need $20,000. The dealer tells me that, okay, you have to pay in 10 years. And I have to pay $2,000 every year. And after 10 years, I owe $10,000 to the dealer. When I click calculate, this calculates the rate of the interest for me, and calculate. And look at here. The interest rate would be 6.21%, which means if the interest rate is 6.21%, and I borrowed $20,000, and I paid for 10 years, I paid $2,000. After 10 years, I still owe $10,000. Look at here. Do you see here? It shows after year 10, it is $10,000. You might be asking if I want to, bring pay off the money, then we have to do some changes in here to, to see what should be the interest to bring the money to 0. And then another component is N. N means number of period. How many years? We know number of period is 10 in here. And think about this as I said, regarding your company. You all know that, you have been assigned a company. Now I click N for number of years. And let me see here. It sometimes gets error when I, and I click N. Okay, let's see what it means. N. Here is that when the interest rates are at 6%, Amazon borrows $20,000 from me, and I pay $2,000. What interest rates should be that after 10 years I end up, future value of my money to be $10,000 in here. And the answer would be, future value would be, let me again calculate, and n is supposed to be 9.6 for this means number of years, how many periods. Let's again, I tell you what it means. If you look at here means that I originally gave $20,000 to Amazon. I am paying $2,000 every year. I want to know after how many years my payment, what I owe Amazon drops to $10,000 after 9.6 years. 9.6 years means that 9 years and 0.6. 0.6 means maybe August of year 9. At that time, after that, I will owe Amazon $10,000. And then one last calculation I want to show you, and that is the present value. And present value is, let me make sure that everything is okay, all the numbers, I click calculate. Okay, the meaning of this present value is that I give, if during 10 years, when the interest rates are 6%, when Amazon pays me $2,000, and at the end, Amazon tells me that it will owe me $10,000, how much money in today's money I should give to Amazon? And in today's money, if I give $304.12 to Amazon, if I give that much, then in that case, after 10 years, at the interest of 6%, when I receive $2,000 a year, Amazon will owe me only $10,000. This is what it shows. And one thing I read in the news also, it's not a bad idea if you think about it. Do you see this 12 cents in here? I heard Donald Trump has suggested that the government gets rid of pennies. He has said that pennies are worthless. And maybe he's instructing the Treasury not to, print or, mint the penny anymore. Anyhow, these are regarding my company, which is Amazon. I want you to do the same thing with your company, which means you go to future value in here, and I want you to use other numbers. Let's say your company is Walmart, for example. You put 20 here, and you say interest rate when they are at 7%, and Walmart is going to borrow $100,000 from you and is going to pay you $10,000 a year. Is going to pay you $10,000 a year. And we want to know what will happen after, let's say, 20 years, how much Amazon to Walmart will owe you based on this deal. You gave $100,000, you said you wanted 7%, and Walmart gave you $10,000 every year. Let's see if the calculation is correct. And if you look at here, do you see after 20 years, Walmart will owe you $22,000. You see what happens. Here, you gave $100,000 to Amazon. Walmart paid you $10,000. Out of that, $7,000 of it went to interest, and this is what remained. If Amazon wants you to pay you off after 1 year, it has to give you $97,000 because it already gave you $10,000 for the interest. Therefore, that's how it is. And what will happen after 20 years, Walmart will owe you $22,000. And that is the total interest that has paid would be $77,000. One thing I noticed is that this $22,000 maybe is in positive, which means it has already paid. I am assuming maybe this is where it paid you off. The meaning of positive, my guess is that on this one is that it has even paid you $22,000 over what it was supposed to pay. At some point in 19 years, in year 19, it has paid you off. Do you see that? I want you to understand the concept of this, and now you know why this one is not negative. If I had put 17 years, then you would have seen this as -7. Let me go and put 17. Let's see what happens. This 17, and sometimes the calculator. Okay, do you see that? 17, after 17 years, yes, 17 years, it owes you, 7,000. When I change it to 18 years, most likely not only Walmart has paid you all the money that it owed you and interest, but you owe Walmart one. That's why it is positive. It's a good way for you. Therefore, I want you to look at the discussion board, how I have posted. Use your own company, the company you all have one assigned. If you don't know how it works, wait until some students who know how to do it. And I have done my company, which is Amazon. Therefore, what I want you to do is put the number of years here, come up with some interest, and give some money to the company that is assigned to you. Put some periodic payment, calculate future value, payment, and write explanation for what it means, each one of these means. And put this scheduled also, and let me show you how I did, and hope you can do this. And this is a very important concept, because for the rest of the semester, we are going to focus on this calculator and the way we calculate it. Let me go in here. Here it is. There are 4 the discussion posts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Each one of these will calculate something. And here it is. When I click here, and if I click here, future value, and you all see that what I have done with my, you see $20,000, 6%, I already showed you. And then I was able to use the screenshot and put my screenshot here, although it's not very clear a visibility. And I put it here. I copied that schedule and put it here. And I said what it means. I explained everything. And then even I showed you PMT, payment. Do you remember? I showed you this one, and I put this schedule as well. This is for one of them. Then there will be another one for interest rate, another one for future value. Therefore, you will see 4 discussion boards. As I said, if you don't know how it is working, wait until 1 or 2 students who know how to do it post their discussion, and you follow those. And I'm going to send you another video, which I'm going to talk about annuity, and we see what that is.